Is your gut causing your depression? Hi, I'm Dr. Crockett, and this is Dr. Crocker with Zeal Integrated Health. And today we're going to talk about the gut-brain axis. This is a situation where imbalances in the gut flora or the bacteria that's in your gut ultimately leads to depression. And things that we're taking in, we're ingesting things like pesticides on our food, the physical and emotional stresses that we incur in our daily life. It starts to alter the pH, and really it impacts the microbiome inside your body. You've got 100 trillion different bacteria that are in your gut. And just to give you a perspective on this, there's only 30 trillion cells in your body. So you actually have more bacteria in your body than you do cells. So when this happens, basically when this occurs, it's going to lead to things like leaky gut. It increases basically the toxicity in the gut area. And what happens is it activates the immune system. 70% of your immune system is actually in your belly. And when this breakdown starts to occur, you're going to upregulate or activate that immune system. And it really starts leading to some bad things.
Yeah, so some of the things that it can lead to is it's really going to increase a lot of inflammation in your system. And when you increase that inflammation, that's going to release cytokines in your system. And what those do is it causes this blood-brain barrier breakdown. You say, well, what does that really cause? What are some of the symptoms that can happen from that? That's going to alter your mood. It's going to cause brain fog. It's going to decrease your cognition. It's going to create some behavioral changes. And so, these are all things that we wonder about every day. Do I have brain fog? Or you go to your work and you can't think through some of these things. And so, what do we do about these? How do we know if we have these things?
Well, you got to start with testing. You got to identify if you've got a breakdown in that gut wall, in that barrier. So you can do things like an intestinal permeability test. You can do stool testing and assess some of the bacteria and whether your digestive properties are working like they should. You can assess the blood-brain barrier. Yep. There's testing that can be done to evaluate that, and even food sensitivities, because a lot of times once these barriers break down, the immune system keys in on things like foods that it might not normally really react to. And so that leads to further immune activation as well. So you've got to do proper testing to identify if this is occurring. And of course, then we have to treat it once it's been identified, right?
Exactly. There's quite a few things that you can actually do to work on these if you have these problems. And one of the first things you can do is eliminate the food allergies that you have. We just talked about food sensitivity testing. When you find those out, you want to eliminate those food allergies, things like gluten, possibly dairy, different pesticide, things like that. You want to add probiotics to support the gut flora as well. There's multiple different types of probiotics out there. There's different strains that you want to look at and really change as well. That will help eliminate the bad bacteria in your gut. One of the main things we want to do too is reduce the stress that's in our system. We have lots of stress in our life. We want to try to reduce that back as we can. Also adding things like vitamin D, omega CO3s, SOD, lipoic acid. These are all things that can really help support these aspects of your body.
Definitely. Yeah, so the dietary changes, probiotics, huge thing there that you're talking about. Yep. And a lot of times what people don't realize is, there's 60 to maybe 80% of your serotonin comes from the gut area. We think of these neurotransmitters as being something that comes from the brain, and that's not actually the truth. Yep. It's coming from this microbiome in the gut. The probiotics that are there are super important. So I hope this helps give you some information about depression, and if you'd like some help with these things, check out some of the other videos on stress, and then check out our office, give us a call, and maybe we can help you with your conditions that you're struggling with, anxiety, depression, factors like that.